Gentlemen, you're most welcome to Devomex Live. My name is Davis Omujisha, and today we are very happy for having received a new shepherd of God in the Diocese of Kabale. There are days that simply pass, and then there are days that come part of history. Days that future generations will remember, not because of the date on the calendar, but because of what God chose to do on that day. Tuesday, 15th July 2026 is one of those days. Across the green hills of Gubazire, the morning began like any other. The mist rested gently on the valleys. Farmers prepared for another day's work. Schools opened their gates. Shops welcomed their first customers. Yet behind the ordinary rhythm of life, something extraordinary was unfolding. At Lushoroza Cathedral, people began arriving long before the appointed hour. Priests, religious, catechists, government leaders, and ordinary Christians quietly filled the cathedral. Some came curious, others came hopeful. Many remembered another day, more than 2 decades ago, when a similar invitation had gathered the faithful to witness the announcement of Bishop Kalisti Rubaramila as the shepherd of Kabale Diocese. History, it seemed, was preparing to repeat itself. No one inside the cathedral knew the name that would soon echo across Uganda. Then silence. The message from the Holy Father was read. The success of St. Peter, Pope Leo XIV had spoken. The Catholic Diocese of Kabale had been given a new shepherd. Reverend Father Dr. Boneventure Bosco Gubazire, a missionary of Africa, the White Fathers. For a brief moment, time seemed to stand still. Then smiles appeared, hands rose in uproars, eyes filled with tears. Prayers of thanksgiving repressed anxious anticipation. A new chapter had begun. Yet perhaps the greatest beauty of this story is not simply who was appointed, it is when. Because God has a remarkable way of writing history. And today throughout the Catholic Church, the faithful celebrate Saint Boneventure, the humble Franciscan bishop, brilliant theologian, and doctor of the Church, whose life demonstrated that true greatness is found in holiness before it is found in knowledge. A man remembered for wisdom, for humility, for charity, for leading God's people with gentleness, and on that very feast, the Church announces another Boneventure as a bishop. Coincidence? Oh, for people of faith, moments like these invite something deeper than coincidence. They invite wonder. As though heaven quietly whispered, "Today, let my people remember that I am still guiding my church." But the story becomes even richer. This is not merely the appointment of a bishop, it is the homecoming of a son. Many years ago, a young boy from Kabale discovered his vocation. The hills of Gubazire in Chitumba sub-county, Kabale district, nurtured him, and the faith of local Christians shaped him. The diocese planted the first seeds of priesthood within his heart. He would later join the missionaries of Africa, the White Fathers, a congregation whose missionaries have crossed borders, languages, and cultures to proclaim Christ throughout the African continent. ordained a priest on 10th August 2003. Father Boneventure Bosco Gubazire didn't choose an easy road. He became a missionary, an educator, a philosopher, a formator of future priests, and his classroom extended beyond Uganda. His ministry reached Ghana. His research explored ethics, education, environmental stewardship, and the dignity of every human person. He spent years helping others discover truth, never imagining that one day he himself would be called back home. Not simply as Father Boneventure, but as Bishop Boneventure. And still, the timing continues to astonish. This year, Kabale Diocese celebrates its Diamond Jubilee, the 60 years. 6 decades since the diocese was established in 1966. 60 years of baptisms, 60 years of weddings, 60 years of priest ordinations, 60 years of schools educating generations, 60 years of hospitals healing the sick, 60 years of missionaries climbing these hills to proclaim the gospel. And every generation has left its footprint. Every bishop has carried the shepherd's staff through different seasons. And from missionary beginnings to flourishing parishes, from humble chapels to vibrant communities of faith, the diocese has grown because countless people chose service over comfort, prayer over fear, faith over uncertainty. And now, as Kabale celebrates 60 years of God's faithfulness, another gift arrives, not made of silver, not made of gold, but a shepherd, a jubilee gift from the Universal Church. The retirement of Bishop Callista Baramira closes one remarkable chapter. His years of leadership strengthened institutions, nurtured vocations, expanded pastoral care, and guided the diocese through changing times. And every shepherd eventually lays down the staff entrusted to him, not because the mission has ended, but because the church continues. And today, another shepherd picks it up. The mission remains the same: to proclaim Christ, to strengthen families, to walk with young people, comfort the suffering, defend the dignity of every person, lead God's people toward holiness. And perhaps that is the greatest lesson hidden within today's story. God never abandons his church. And when one servant finishes the race, another is already prepared. And when one generation bows out, another quietly steps forward. Long before today's announcement, God was already writing this story. Long before the uproars, he was preparing his servant. Long before the white envelope was opened, he had already chosen the shepherd. Today, the bells of Rushoroza Cathedral ring with joy, not simply because Kabale Diocese has a new bishop, but because the Good Shepherd continues to care for his flock. And somewhere beyond today's celebration, beyond the cameras, the headlines, truth remains. The author of this story is still God. And if he has written such a beautiful beginning, the chapters yet to come may be even greater. As we await the day of consecration, we really congratulate Bishop-elect Boneventure Bosco Gubazire, a missionary of Africa. May your episcopal ministry be marked by wisdom like Saint Boneventure, the zeal of the missionaries of Africa, and the heart of Christ, the Good Shepherd. For today, Kabale Diocese does not merely receive a bishop, it welcomes a new chapter in its sacred history.